Uh, Dame, what's it feel like to get this done and have your GM basically say you're the face of this franchise now?
I'm really excited about it. It's been a long time coming, for me in my career as far as being able to comfortably be the leader of a team. And I'm really excited about, the guys that we've brought in. I'm excited about the guys that have been here. We just ready to get to work. I think the first thing is making sure that you hold yourself to the highest standard, and I know that I do that. And if you're gonna lead a group, you got to make sure that you set the tone. You got to be the example, and I feel like I'm more than capable of doing that. I work hard. I take care of everything that I need to take care of, and I think just giving guys something to follow. Things that represent what a coach would want the leader to represent, doing things for the right reasons, and just leading from a good place. I think everything that I do in my life in general, I do it from a good place. And being a leader doesn't mean I run everything and everybody has to do what I say. It's just being the example, and kind of pushing things into the direction that's going to give us our best chance. And that's all I'm here to do.
Damian, what did the franchise tell you that was enough for you to give a commitment for 6 years?
They didn't have to tell me much. This is where I wanted to be. Even in the draft, I wanted to come to Portland at 6. My agent could tell you the same thing, and it's been a great 3 years. I've grown a lot as a person. I've grown a lot as a player, and I just love this organization. I think everything that they represent, I represent also, and I'm just excited about growing with them. I'm honored to have them commit to me the way they have. And I love the coaching staff here. I love this organization, and I'm really looking forward to us building together.
Dane, how would you describe this roster now?
We're a lot younger. When I came in, we had guys like Jared Jeffries and L.A. in his late 20s, Sasha Pavlovich, and a lot of older guys. And I think me, Myers, and Will, guys like us, we came in and we just had to be pieces to that team to try to help us become a better team. Now, being much younger, I think is going to be, exciting. You got guys who want to prove themselves and want to get things done. It's kind of like we're starting back from the bottom, I guess. Building together, everybody just getting on the same page and working towards, being as best we can. And I think that's what's most exciting about it.
What was your take seeing your other four starters that was on the court with you leave and no longer here? I mean, obviously Batum traded and Lopez and West and Aldridge decided to go.
As a teammate, you hate to see them go. They've all been here since I've been here, so I was comfortable with them. I had a lot of confidence in what our team could accomplish with those guys being by my side. And now that they're gone, it's one of those things where you got to accept that it's a part of the business. And going into the offseason, I knew that it was a possibility. So, like Neil said, it was something that I was preparing myself for. I wasn't going into it thinking every single person on this team is going to be back. And I think they all went and took advantage of great situations for themselves. And I'm excited about what we have. All my life I've always rolled with who was rolling with me. And we brought guys in that wanted to be in Portland, and now they're my teammates, so that's what I'm rolling with.
Dame, to have the Blazers have so much faith in you leading forward and to have your family here, where does this moment rank in your life?
It means a lot because having a team commit to me the way they have, it's about a lot more than the basketball player that I am. I think it has a lot to do with the person that I am, and without my family being here or raising me the way that my mother and my father did, or having the values placed in me that I had, this commitment wouldn't be here. I wouldn't know how to be the person that the organization could depend on. So I'm thankful for them being here to support me. I'm thankful for the upbringing that I had to become the person that I am, and I'm just looking forward to doing the right things, bringing this organization back to where it should be, and continuing to be the person that I am and leading.
Dame, signing the largest contract in franchise history, being the face of the franchise, does that bring with it a certain burden or a new kind of burden to you moving forward?
Not really. I think it's just more responsibility. To have the type of contract that I have now. The first thing that goes off in my mind is that I have to perform like I deserve it. And I wouldn't say it's a burden because nobody challenges me more than I challenge myself. Nobody expects more of me than I expect of myself. So it's, like I said, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to having a bigger role, to being the leader of the team. And, I think it's going to be fun. It's not too much for me to say about it. I'm going to continue to be the same person. I'm going to continue to attack things with confidence like I always have. And hopefully it'll all work out like I planned for it to work out.
Dame, why is it different now for you as far as being a leader?
Well, it's coming into the league as a rookie, I was the starting point guard, and I had the ball in my hands all the time, and I did well. So as a young player, you don't want people to think that you're trying to do more than you should be doing, or you don't want them to think you're trying to take anything away or try to be the man or be the guy. I think that's what I was fighting a little bit. I didn't want anybody to think that I thought I was a big shot or I was coming to take over anything. And now we got guys coming in, and they'll get to know me as a person. They'll get to see that I'm not that, and it's also much easier because I've been here longer than everybody else. That changes everything. Nobody's been here longer than me, so it's not that they can't say anything to me, but it's that the organization knows who I am. They know what I represent, so it makes me more comfortable just going about things the way that I do.
Terry, what do you like best about having Damian on your roster?
I don't know if there's one thing that I like the best. I'm sitting here listening to him, and it's so obvious to me why we have the trust in him that we do. You hear him talk about leadership and being a good teammate and being a leader and all those things. What he does on the court is obvious, and I think the way he's handled himself up to this point, his role on the team, within in the locker room, he's continued to evolve, and this is just the next stage for him. Obviously, I think a lot of people will be looking at what he does on the court as far as, whether he's worth his contract or not. And when you listen to him, it's not about that. It's all the other things that he's going to grow into. And he's more than capable and more than ready for this next stage beyond the basketball.
Damian, it's been reported that your contract doesn't have any options on it. A lot of players, it seems like, are choosing to add those options to their contracts for various reasons, and I'm curious why you decide not to do that.
Because I'm not gonna be in 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You sign the deal and you commit to the team because that's what you're committed to. So I know that in my heart this is where I want to be, and I didn't see a reason to have an option. We have a young team now. It might not be great to begin with, or it could be better than what people think, and I'm willing to deal with that. I like the challenge, and I just want to be a part of this organization, so I didn't feel the need to have an option.
Neil, I'm back behind these cameras. In your early meetings with Dame, what were the kind of things that you recognized that made making this commitment so easy? And it seems like it was an obvious choice.
It was. You talk about back to the draft?
Yeah, in the sort of your early meetings.
Well, I mean, look, not to be redundant with what Terry said, but I mean, when you watch Dame, speak, when you hear what he's saying, not just the words, but the values behind them, what's important to him is what's important to any organization. He emulates everything that you would want in a franchise player. And, from day one, especially as a point guard, I've talked about this before. I had a great luxury that, I got the job in Portland after spending, the previous year with Chauncey Billups, Chris Paul, Eric Bledsoe, Mo Williams. I mean, some of the really, really high-level point guards in our league and also incredible people. And I saw all those traits, in Dame. And like I said, when we drafted Damian, I mean, not to overstate it, we drafted him as much as a person as we did as a player. I mean, any player that's going to be a top 10 pick in the NBA draft, right? I mean, once you get to the point where the consensus is that there's a group of players that are talented enough to go in that range of the draft, then it becomes about the things that you can't teach. It becomes about the things that you don't see on the court, the gravitas, the character, the culture, how he was raised, the kind of person he is. And that's what the organization makes a commitment to. There are a lot of guys that can play basketball, and that's a business. You have to have guys that can play. But at the end of the day, when you're going to build a culture and a foundation, you build it with people like Damian.
Damian, Jason asked you about what kind of changes now, but my question is, do you feel that the way the roster has changed and now with this deal, there might have been things that before you couldn't have maybe said and done that you can do now in this current position that you're in?
I don't think it's anything. When I said things that I didn't say, I meant as a leader. Like, it was times where I didn't want to step on anyone's toes. We had multiple guys on the team that would lead in different ways. Wes was a really emotional leader. Like, he would say everything that came to his mind. And L.A. was quiet, but from time to time he would say something. He would throw things out there. And for me, it was more by example, or I would go talk to somebody one-on-one. I would pull guys to the side. But now I think I would be more comfortable just spitting things out. If I see something in practice, I can yell it out to the team and not have to worry about whether or not they're going to look at it a certain way, or if they're going to just not see it for what I see it as. And as far as the game, obviously I have my role will be bigger. I have to do more. So that's what I meant.
What have you found out about yourself from entering the league till now? I mean, going overseas this summer and seeing how popular you are up to this point. Is it anything new?
Not really. Everything has been the same, and I think that's why I've been able to continue to grow. I've been able to remain the same person. Even when I entered the draft, I wasn't supposed to be a top 10 pick, but in my mind, I thought I was a top 10 pick. I believed that I was, and I put the work in to be that. So, once I started to see that my work was paying off and the amount of confidence that I had in myself was making things actually come to life, I just stuck with it. I still do it now. And, it's brought me here. So I wouldn't say much has changed. And keeping things the same. A lot of my family are still with me. My family live here with me, and the ones that don't, they visit often, and they treat me the same. So I think because of things like that, it allows me to continue to grow, but not, see many things change or be affected by things. My mom still tells me to put my glass in the sink. Don't leave that sitting on the floor right there, or take your mail upstairs. It's things like that, or break down the boxes. Boxes in the garage. She's my mother still. So it's not like people are treating me like I'm a big shot. And I think being able to stay grounded and having that type of support system, it really helps. To keep things the same but still grow.
Is it going to be hard to keep that mindset because now you're the face? I mean, win or lose, everybody's going to point the finger at you. With the way that this team goes, everyone's going to look at you. Is it going to be tough to keep that same mindset, knowing that the pressure to where this organization is going to land on your shoulders?
I mean, I don't really see it as pressure. I know that I have confidence in being the leader of a team. But if people want to, point the finger at me if it doesn't go right away, then I know that I can deal with that. I've experienced much worse things than people blaming me for losing games. And I think I'm comfortable with it because I have confidence that we're going to do great things. I think it's going to go in the right direction, not because of me, but because of the young players that we have and what they could become. You know, it's not going to be all on my shoulders to make everything happen. But I will have the responsibility of being the leader. So if they want to point at me for, you know, losing games or whatever, I know that I can deal with that. So if you ask me, am I ready to deal with that, then I am.
Dame, and if this is too personal, don't feel like you have to answer it, but can you introduce your family and what they mean to you, each person?
Yeah. Well, I'll start with JR because he family to me. JR family to me now. JR Duperrier, this is the guy who represents me for Adidas. But he's become family to me. You know, we spend a lot of time together, sometimes more time than I spend with my actual family, because we've become really good friends. You know, he's a great dude. He does a great job even going the extra yard when it comes to helping me handle business for Adidas and as a friend. You know, when I need to do things or I need somebody to talk to or somebody to give me real advice. This is my sister, Cartisha Patton. She was a much older sister, not my real sister, but she was in my life as a sister. And she basically raised me right along with my mother. Has always been there for me. You know, even now that I'm in the NBA, I'll get random calls and random texts saying I love you and I'm proud of what you're doing. This is my girlfriend, Kayla Hansen. We met in college, and you know, people always ask me about, you know, how long have you had a girlfriend? Did you meet her in the NBA? But we actually met when my foot was broke, so she had no idea I was gonna make it to the NBA. She actually didn't even believe me when I told her. This is my mom. My mom is probably my biggest fan, you know, my biggest supporter. You know, I remember nights where I would go to sleep I'd be playing the game all night, and she would be waking up to go to work, and it's like it'd be 4 in the morning, and you know I would just be like, man, you know she does this every day, and I remember asking her as a kid sometimes like, how can you get up that early every day? Like you go to work every day at 4 o'clock, and I remember at a young age I started to tell her, you know, when I get older, you're not gonna have to work no more. So. I couldn't. I don't think it's nothing I could ever do to pay my mother back. The things that we've been through. You know, I'm just as excited for her as I am for myself, and it's crazy. But this is my uncle right here. You know, he's been around the entire time. When I remember it was days where my mom would have to go to work, and I wouldn't have a ride to school sometimes, so he'd take me to school, and always been there, man. It was I remember my mom would take me to his house at midnight sometimes, and you know, just to plug in a car so we can get some free movies on DirecTV, and he'll always have it, you know, always there. He always had it, man. This my cousin, Kenny. I ain't gonna tell y'all his nickname because he ain't comfortable with everybody knowing. But you know, I think if I learn to go do my own thing and just be comfortable with who I am out of anybody, I learned it from him because he's always been that cousin that he would have confrontation with anybody. Like, he'd have a confrontation with my grandfather, and everybody was scared of him. But, you know, he's been there my whole life also. You know, and it just goes to show you that you learn more from your family and you pick up more from your family than you think. All my cousins were great athletes, and at some point in their life, they all ran into something that just stopped them from being able to get it done. And I think me being in this position now has a lot to do with me learning from the mistakes that they made or some of the things that they might have taken for granted. You know, maybe not working hard or maybe not being as serious as they needed to be about things. So that's who everybody here is. You know, I owe it all to my family.
That's good. That's a good point. Okay, I guess we'll wrap it up there. Thanks, Dame, Neil, and Terry. We're going to do another reset and bring in Al Farouk and Ed Davis. So we'll be.